In this video, we're going to share a clip from our Facebook Live TOEFL class, and we're going to talk about your writing question 1 essay template and the time management structure to follow. So you're going to learn specifically how you'll actually type your essay, what this computer screen is going to look like so you feel confident and comfortable, how to write in a way that is both accurate and also deals with the common question about paraphrasing to improve your score. We're going to talk about how you need to focus more on the lecture than the reading when you write your essay. Talk about word count, ideal word count for you to get your dream TOEFL score. So hope you enjoy. Let's begin. So what's going to happen after the lecture is the screen is going to show you on the left side the reading. So the reading is there for the full 20 minutes you have to write. And then you have a little blank screen where you can type. You can copy and paste, not from the reading, but from what you typed. But essentially, all of that isn't too important because when you start typing, you're just going to be creating content. You don't really need to copy and paste. So what do we do in these 20 minutes? How do I make sure that you're going to get your extra points? You're a new student, you're a continuing student. The first thing is your job is to be insanely accurate to the reading and the lecture. You do not need to paraphrase. You want to use the exact same words in the exact same way. Because if you don't, it's going to hurt your grammar. Because if you try to paraphrase, to be accurate and grammatically correct is challenging. So paraphrasing is good, but it's very difficult to do well. So I have learned that it's better for you, and you can get a 30 out of 30. Remember, I take the TOEFL, students take the TOEFL. These are tested strategies. Feel 100% confident with them. What you need to be obsessed about is the very challenging thing of how to explain well. So don't worry about changing words. Don't worry about shifting things. Keep it simple and accurate, and you will improve your score. So you see, that's why I have the arrows that show you're essentially rewriting, re-explaining from your notes point by point. The next thing is, as you do that, okay, so accurate, turn your notes into your essay. The next thing that I want to show you is what I notice in almost every essay, every single essay, from you and other students who want to improve. The first thing is master the relationship between the reading and lecture with respect to word count. So in paragraph 1, the reading gives you the background to the idea. So this is the only paragraph where you'll spend more time on the reading than you will on the lecture. Because the lecture is usually going to be really fast. That's misguided. That's not a good idea. That point is, incorrect. It's going to be 1 or 2 sentences from the professor 90% of the time that just says, I don't agree with the author. So 60% of your introductory paragraph should be from the reading because you need to explain the background. You want to think to yourself, somebody who did not read the reading, somebody who did not hear the lecture, is going to read my essay. So I need to make it clear to them. And 40% of information on the lecture. So you ideally can think that you want about 45 words for the introductory paragraph. Can be more, can be less, but 45 is strong. The next thing is for each body paragraph you see a repeating pattern. It's all about the lecture. The reading you just have to summarize clearly. So you want about 15% of your word count to be on the reading and 85% to be from the lecture. Ideally at about 75 words for each body paragraph. So you're in the 200 to 300 word range. And as you heard me earlier, depending on where we are, 175 to 225 words is good. But I just want to tell you, word count is really not important compared to what you're going to learn next. of what we're going to practice together, like all the different steps. It's like one, like, let me say that again. Word count is one part of many things that influence your score. It is not the most important. It matters, but everything should be equal, right? Like, finishing the reading in 3 minutes should be as important to you as word count. Making sure these percentages are basically correct in your essay should be as important to you as word count, right? So doing your deep breathing to really calm yourself, to forget about the reading, listening, and speaking, so that you can really think. um, Distraction and stress influence me and my score. And so that is as important as word count. So it is one part, and it is not the main part. Everything matters because question one has so many parts to it. The next thing is template and word count. So let's review this real quick, one paragraph at a time. So I'm really excited to share that this one little update to time management that I think is really going to help you quite significantly, where we're not only going to do the time management for the paragraph, but the time for each part. And we do that in writing question 2 too. So I find this completely transformational in your success if you follow it. But it's not easy, but we want to follow it. So the basic template for the introductory paragraph: the article states what's the point of the author, what's the background, however the professor explains that. Clean and simple. Your template, in my experience, creates an important structure, but it doesn't really help you improve your score if you're not explaining things well. So the template, like, there's like a you could find 100 different templates. You can change the words that work for you, but don't make the templates too large, because when when you're not explaining the reading or the lecture, it's not influencing your score. It's just your templates need to be grammatically correct and create clear transitions. They do not really illustrate your ability to explain well. So it's after the template that what the graders are paying a little bit more attention to. So does the template matter? Yes. But just like word count, it's one part of everything. So I tend to notice that you might be really concentrating on word count. You might really be concentrating on, this one thing I didn't understand, these notes that were not clear. Uh, and that matters, but it's normal not to be perfect, and so many other things matter more. So I just want to, or matter as much. So everything matters. So templates aren't number one, word count isn't number one. It's a part of everything. Here's what I think really matters more, because it's what I notice in hundreds and thousands of essays over the years that make me rate you lower, and that graders will rate you lower with. And that's a poor focus on that proportion I showed you, where we have a certain amount of content on the reading, a certain amount on the lecture. So here's the interesting part. 3 minutes to write this introductory paragraph, 2 minutes for the reading, 1 minute for the lecture. So after you finish the introductory paragraph in 3 minutes, you have the first body paragraph, the second, and the third, and you see the repeating pattern. So first, the reading claims that. You spend 1 minute 40 seconds on the reading, typing it out, getting that information best you can. Then you have to stop and move on to the lecture, and you spend 4 minutes on the lecture. This is so important because the reading is important, but the lecture is many, many times more important. And I notice with students that when you write we tend to really concentrate on what we write first. So it's super easy to get over focused on the reading. So we spend 3 minutes total on the introductory paragraph, 2 minutes on the reading, 1 minute on the lecture, 5 minutes and 40 seconds for each body paragraph, 1 minute 40 seconds on the reading, 4 minutes per lecture. We keep our templates nice and smooth. The professor refutes this point by saying that, and we repeat the process. Second, the article posits that. However, the professor says that. Third, the reading claims that. The professor opposes this point by explaining that. Breathing deep with Miss Frago, knowing we're not perfect, but by following this timing, by following this template, by doing our best, we will have an essay that looks good, has good proportions, and will increase our score. That concludes our clip from the class. I hope you learned something, feel more confident about your success. Keep studying hard. Know your dream score is coming.